Welcome to A Simple Life. Well, we are gonna move the cows. And it is a little bit in the afternoon. I just got done with work. And so we're gonna do some more work because that's kind of what we do around here. We do a lot of work. We do play a lot. I wanna say that. Okay, so I wanna draw a balance to the boys' life because currently all you see the boys do is work. Okay, Clint has a drone. Now he did crash it, but that's gonna be fixed. He's got remote control cars. He plays a little bit of video games, small amount. Clay, on the other hand, Clay has a remote control car. They like to play with those. Clay also is amazing at chess. He's an excellent chess player for his age of 8 years old. When I say he's amazing, he's actually taken top 3 and 4 in some speed tournaments online and stuff like that. Now, these aren't like high ranked. They're just, he's doing good for his age. He's really enjoying that. So the boys have things, Legos, all kinds of stuff that they do beyond just doing work with me. I figured I'd point that out because all you ever see my boys do is work. It's because I don't generally take videos of them playing video games. But the boys came out yesterday and they set up a line across this field. So there's about 1.5 acres of pasture here that the boys set up. Now Clint and I are going to move our cows over. Clint's currently going to drag the water tank over there so they can fill it from the road. The good part about this time of year is we get a lot of rain. Because the grass has a lot of dew and moisture on it, the cows don't drink as much water, which is great. Oh, hi cows, how are you? Oh, a little bull. Oh, you don't want anything to do with me, huh? Oh, actually, that's not a little bull. That is our little yearling heifer. Where's the other one? We have one, yeah, that's the yearling heifer, and then we have a little calf heifer somewhere. Let's see, I think that's a little calf heifer right there, the smaller of them, or maybe it's the browner one over there. It's one of those two. All right, come on guys, let's get moving. This pasture's been grazed just enough that we're ready to move them to the next area, and since the grasses are growing really quick right now, it doesn't really make much sense to leave them in an area when we can move them to the next one and this grass and this pasture can recover. And potentially, I don't think so, but depending on the weather, we may get back in here. Probably not. This is probably the end of it for this year. All right, come on girls. Let's go, haha, let's go. There you go. Let's go. You guys are so mild and mellow. Come on. I should say girls and boys. Ladies and boys. All right, now we don't want to put too much pressure. Hopefully that mom will lead everybody the right direction. There she goes. She knows what's going on. As long as the little calves don't get too much of a spur in their side. There you go. Hey Clint, just wait there, big guy. I don't want you to pressure him down the road. What do we do about the bad weather the rest of the year? Well, the rest of the year, other than the carport, which is up on the gravel grade, we do not put our cows in barns. We are blessed enough in this area to have very, very mellow winters. And so with our very mellow winters come the ability, other than a lot of rain, to not worry about having to really put our cattle in barns. Now, I have neighbors that put their cattle in the barn, and I don't have a problem with that. You got a barn to put them in, it's great. I don't have a barn to put them in, and I'm not gonna build one. Not anytime soon, or probably ever. I'm actually gonna bring some grass seed over. I have a bunch of Timothy grass seed, and we're gonna put a bunch of grass seed in here. I may even go into the field and spread some oat, just because I like to have a little bit of variety. Currently, these fields are almost all nothing but just a fescue. But hey, listen, the cows don't mind. I mean, obviously, they enjoy themselves, and this is gonna be good for them. Once again, the grass is not super tall. We're talking we'll call it 4 to 10 inches, depending on the area. But we're coming into the portion of the year when the grasses will actually be growing really quick for the next, call it 2 months. Probably the rest of October and most of November, we'll get pretty good grass growth just because of the fact we have moisture and decently warm days. Not a lot of sun, but decently warm days. Now obviously grasses need sun to grow, but this field is nice and open. Now it doesn't get direct morning sun, but it gets morning-ish sun. We don't have a mountain there, we have some trees, but it's gonna get a good amount of sun. Now obviously, as we get into evening, you can see the sun's over here. The nice part is, this field used to get a lot less sun because this whole hillside right here was just logged. The nice part is they didn't do a complete logging over here. They just thinned it, which will make this field, in the summer, it will be a little warmer because there will be more direct sunlight on it. But this field will also get early spring and late fall will get a little bit more sun. Everybody's looking really good. They look like they got full tanks. We definitely have some moms that have a little bit thinner. I don't want to say thin, just a little of that milk cowness where you can see that hip bone, okay? I know what that's from. See, it's not that the cow doesn't have enough nutrients, and okay, within reason. What I mean by that is that's because they still have calves milking off of them. So as soon as the calves are weaned off, I'm not worried about it. And generally they just self-wean. I don't actually wean anybody. I've only ever had one like over a year old bull try to suckle off mom over and over again, and it's one that's over there, and he cried like a big baby when we moved him over there. For a good probably day or so he was bawling for mom, which was really funny because he's like 16 months old, so doesn't really need mom anymore. So yeah, but other than that, that's the only time I've had that happen. Generally these guys will just kick them off. All right, I have talked about this in the past. In the past, we have not castrated any of our bulls. That is going to be something we are changing going forward. From now on, all my bulls will be banded as soon as they're born. And there's a reason for that. The reason is what happened this year and will potentially happen next year. Probably not as bad next year, but it definitely happened this year. And that is when the cows were ready to be bred, they went into heat, all the bulls tried to breed them at the same time. And I had one cow that went down. She just got sore and she was like, I'm done. And so when that happened, we separated her and left her in here, and she had been bred. I could tell she'd been bred, and as soon as the cows would come over to her, she would just lay down. She was like, nope, I'm done. I want nothing to do with you guys. So, but as soon as the cows left, she'd get up and start grazing and everything was fine. So she wasn't hurt per se, she was probably sore, but I don't want that. That's not something I want. So in the past, we haven't had that issue because I only had like 1 or 2 bulls that we were gonna butcher, and then I have the big bull. Well, in this case, Chubby, I think, is just too passive of a bull. In the future, we will be banding all of our bulls basically as soon as I can get my hands on them, which is usually within the first 24 hours. The thing is I don't have a corral or chutes or any of that kind of stuff for running my cows through, because I don't do those type of things for worming or sprays or anything like that. We just keep them moving all the time. So I don't have the infrastructure to band them at 6 months old or something like that. So we're not gonna do that. Part of leaving them intact for me has been you'll get great growth. Here's the funny part. I've actually noticed on my goats that I get really good growth off my wethers, and it's because they're not standing around or running around trying to chase females. But I haven't done this with cattle. So I'm gonna do 1 year, and we're gonna see what happens between steers and bulls. I may even leave one calf intact just to compare that intact calf to the steers the following year, just to see what the weight difference is. Obviously there's genetic differences, but I may do that just to kind of see what that looks like. I don't know if I'm gonna see a huge difference because we butcher our animals out at 18 months. I don't care what the weight is, at 18 months we butcher them. The reason why we butcher them at 18 months is that is just our process. We have a process, this is what we do. I don't want to have them go through a second winter. I only want them going through 1 winter on our farm, because winters can be really hard, and once I have that many animals at that size going through winter, it can really do some real damage to fields. So we butcher everything out at 18 months. And it's worked out good. We end up with hanging weights between 380 and 430-ish. That's our min and max. So we're gonna have to try this out. we're gonna do that in the next year. When everybody's born next spring, that's when we're gonna do this. But you know what's funny? Next year I'll end up with nothing but heifer calves. So, that'll just be what I get probably. All right, we're gonna get up to Herman's and let the goats graze and do some firewood. See you guys up there. Let's go see where the goats have decided to go nibble and do some browsing. We'll see where that is. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be right over here, or they might have gone farther down the hillside. But today they definitely immediately came and went this way. So they liked whatever they were eating yesterday enough that this evening they wanted to go right back. Oh, and there you are. They went right back to the exact same area, which is great. There we go. Goat's a little bit on the timid side, to be honest. There you go. Now, is that a wether or is it a female? Can't tell. I love this. I love seeing the goats do their thing. Ah, so beautiful. Now, you're not mistaken. I came in here with the excavator last spring and we leveled all this, piled all the blackberry together and burned it. You're not mistaken. We did do that. And why is the blackberry back at 18 inches tall? Well, because just by piling it up and scraping the ground doesn't get rid of the blackberry. Blackberry has its own root system, so it just pop right back up. But by putting goats in here over and over again, well, that's a different story. And you guys have seen that because I have areas, like I've said, that had 12-foot tall blackberry, and now they got nothing. There's just nothing there but grasses. And I mean, this area is a great example. This area was just like that area over there. And I mean, there's just none. Like there's just not, I mean, I don't see any. I mean, along the fences, there's a couple little tufts, but I mean, it's mostly all just been killed off. This is the firewood that we got bucked out for Herman last night. We're gonna finish topping this whole entire truck off. We're gonna do a really big, tall load. The main reason for doing a big, tall load is we're only going a quarter mile down the road on our road, not on the public road. So we'll get this filled up nice and tall. Then we're gonna take it down there, split it and stack it. And Herman should have firewood for the rest of the year as well as going into next year, because last year he didn't even burn all of his.
I talk about this kind of stuff all the time. I think it's so important for the boys to see that we don't just do our chores and our work, but that we help our neighbors. I know this sounds very much like I'm trying to raise them to be good communists. That's not the case at all, trust me. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to show them that there is more to what we do than just who we are today in the moment, that our life is made up of everything that we do across the whole life. Okay, I'll get off my high horse about that. This was supposed to be a really easy, mellow evening of us doing lighter pieces of wood, go down to Herman's and get it all done. What ended up happening? My wood splitter would not split wood. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even run consistently. It just kept running and shutting off like it was being starved of fuel. So tomorrow we'll come back with some carb cleaner and we'll figure out what's going on. And then we'll split the wood. All right. Have a good night. See you in a few days.